So let's start the speed run for workshop 5. So workshop 5 is about building a basic database. So we're going to use Microsoft Access, which we has already opened here, to construct a relational database to understand the foundation of the table. Okay, better. Okay, let's start again. So this is workshop 5, speed run. So in this workshop, we're going to create a relation database. We're going to have a student table, class table, and the grade table will be using the foreign keys with both student numbers and class number, right? So without further ado, let's get started. So part 1 is about create an access database. So we're going to build the fundamental structure. I'm going to define some tree tables, including its attributes, sets, the property of the attributes. And we're going to switch to the datasheet view to view these popular tables with their initial data. So start it. And then backstage. What do you mean backstage? So let's start anew, right? So probably gonna start with backstage. Click the blank database that we're gonna use. So select a destination folder. Let's just put it here. And then to save the database as a student class student ID. Okay, so we can do that. Student stu break. Okay, and your student ID, I'm gonna skip here. It's your student ID. Okay, let's create, right? Blah, 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 blah. If everything works fine, you should have a linear view as follows. The documents window using the close button, document table buttons, and this. First, the close button, close the view. All right. Close file, close the current file, and close. Okay. So now let's open. Now it's first you have backstage, right? So just go to open, and then this is a recent one. So folder, you can just click here. And we are having this again. Recent, blah, 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 create a new table design. So table design, a rule for the naming attributes. This can be up to 64 characters, include letters, number, space, camel case notation. So camel case is using uppervoice for each letter of each new word, like first name, last name, blah, 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 email address. Okay. Data types, we have the following. So we will first define the student table with some attributes and specify the properties for those attributes. Type specify the data type. Key defines whether this is the attribute is actually a primary key. A primary key is basically the ID. It's like the ID for each rows, basically, kind of like that. So, okay. Well, let's say define the field name. Then we have student number, right? And then this is number. Then it's auto number, right? So we have our last name. Last name is gonna be text, but I'm gonna short text. Okay, and first name and the email address, and then let's say this should be a non-text, hopefully. Okay, so this is the key description, blah blah blah. So we have data type auto number, right? So add this number to set the number of file of these characters. Options. So gonna specify auto number and this number to set the number of these characters. View size 25. Oh, you can change it. Okay, so we're gonna define this 25 long text. It's short. They are all short. Okay, so this is 100. Okay, what? Okay, so here we can actually description is also optional, but maybe we can type here. This is key for student last name, student's first name, student email address. Okay, so now move the mouse pointer and select the student number. And then here, click the primary key. So mark it as a primary key button. The key symbol here should indicate number is primary key. So there's, you see there's a key symbol here. So now it's the primary key again. So to save this table, we're gonna Control S. Let's just save it here. Table 1. And then we're gonna rename this table with big student. Okay. Now we can see the table here. If everything works well, select total, blah, 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 blah. Similarly, create the table class with the following attributes and also create the table class with the attributes and properties. Okay, let's now work on let's create another table design. So field name. So we have a class number, data type is number, right? So it's gonna be a private keys and it's gonna remarks. It's gonna be a long integer, all right? Okay, second one, class name. Data type is text, so short text we have 35, and then we have the term, non-text as well, but we're gonna use it. And then we have the section. Section is the number, and then key no, require yes. and this is an integer, right? Return is a text with 12. This is a non-integer, right? So this is the primary key. So click that, and this is requires, right? So okay, so this is maybe one more thing. Okay, so here those are require options. Let's create. Okay, let's get back. So in the student one, we have this required options. So let's see. This one is let's see where to find this. So okay, so let me find where's index. Okay, this one should be okay. Oh, so here required. You can see. So yes and yes. Email address is not required. Okay, let's save it. So if I see here require, okay. Table, we are okay. So let's move on. It's gonna be okay. So let's also for class number, which is required, right? So class name also required. Term is also required, and section also required. Okay, so this is integer, and this one is not an integer. Looks okay now. So let's save, and this table is gonna be class. All right. So now let's create the last one. The last one is actually the grade. So with grade, you have a student number, right? Student number as type as numbers, and then for the essay stage, and then which is required, and then you have the class number, right? And then this one is also required. And what else? So you have the grade. This is also a number and also required. Okay. So we make this foreign keys in Gory, but we need to make those two primary keys. So here, yes, yes, yes. Okay, now let's save it. So it's saved, and we're gonna. This is table grade. Great. All right, so now we have the three tables now. Okay, data set view or design view. Okay, so we can switch it to here and here. This is the design. So now let's input some data to the table. Oh, so let's import data. After defining student, we can input data. We can add the data by using a datasheet view. So okay, so let's go to student, open the student. So now we're already in the datasheet view, right? So the data tool tab, data tool tab, database table view. Okay, wait a second. After defining student input data, I can add the data using the data sheet. Add the following data to the table. Remember to save the database. Okay. Oh shit, and now it's ready. Okay, so how are we gonna do that? Define, we can add the table using data sheet to view. This is a design. Interesting words. Table field. Okay, the student number 1. Okay, the student number. We must enter value in the last name. Okay. Book, Sam, book, Sam. So Sam, hot, oh, right? And one. Oh, so it's all between now or yeah, almost here. Alright, great. Raise, stop, bring. So please add a record for yourself, first name, last name, and email address in the student table. Okay, but let's. Okay, so we can do that. So my last name. Okay. So Grace. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, let's save this, and then let's go to the following data into the class, right? So for the class, we have class number 10, class name JH101, term, and section 1. Okay, number 20, class name section 2, 13. Okay, that's it. Save that. Now let's put the grade. So for student number 1, class 10 and 2.7, 114, 3.5, 7. Fuck. Okay, something's wrong. So the number, right? The number, I think we need to use decimal, and decimal format. Fixed, edition, scale is 2 decimal place. Okay, so now let's get back. So this one is actually 2.7, right? 3.7, 3.5, and then 20.7, 3, 13, 3.1. Okay, so that's it. Okay, now let's define the relationship. Student number in grade create a relationship to the student number in student. Class number in grade create a relationship to the class number in class. Student number in grade and class number in grade are example of the foreign keys. So under database 2 tab, there's a relationship. So now let's design the relationship. Select in a show table window. Select student. Oh wait, student, right? And add button. Celebrate as well. After adding to the close button. So adding the close. So define the relationship between the student and click on drag student number. So you will see this. Create. Then table click the reference and click create one too many. Okay, let's do that. So in this part, so we have built this relationship, right? So now in this part, we're gonna query by example. So we're gonna how to retrieve and analyze data. So we're gonna use some query design. So let's save it and then create, and then we're gonna go for query design, right? So add the student table and press add the student table and close button. Define the following query. Dot last name, first name, email address. What else? Student number. Okay. And Control X and see query will now appear on the left. Okay. To run this query, click run. Query design. Click run. We're gonna get this query, right? The result query data sheets, blah 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 blah. Except showing data value first. Okay, now you can switch to the SQL to examine generate by access. Switch to the SQL. So this is basically the SQL code, like the script to actually to query this stuff very easy. So now change to you can switch to QL, blah blah blah. Change the view to design view. So design view again, right? So right click, show table, right? In the property area, right click, show table. So we're gonna add the class and also grade. Close it, right? So remodify program it and travel all the grades in different class. So we're gonna all the grades. So we got class and class number, right? And class name, class, and student, grade. Grade, then it's just grade. First name, last name, class, and section, and then term, class number. Okay, run the query now. Just save and run. So now I'm getting all the grades for all the class. Some useful information allow you to limit the result query by the value or the blah blah blah. Operate, go grade, blah blah blah. Do that. So function now operates on a single column, returns a single value. So group by, so this is like the basic conclusion of this. So you can actually apply some kind of total sort, what kind of sort, you can apply some kind of operations on the data as well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, define total. So create table. So create, again, query design. In the show table, add the create table. You see? So what happens is like we want to basically, all right, so let's create another query. Create query, where is it on that? Create query design and second query and then query design. Show table, right? So we're gonna add the grade. So for the field, gonna be the grade. And then we're gonna use the grade. Then in the menu bar, grade, click the total and then average max minimum. Right? Average max minimum. Right? So that's wrong. So we're gonna get this. Okay, and there's also a class name as well. So go back to the query design, and then we're gonna have class number, right? Class name, class. Gonna have this. Okay, and then show table. Gonna add this table, right? We're gonna have class. So here, we're gonna have a class name, minimum, max, and average. So this is grade all, average, grade all, max. Wait a second. This is grade. So this is grade. All right. So class name, grade, average max, show, grade. Okay, that's wrong. See what happened. Data type. What's this? There you go. Okay. For each class, blah blah blah, and then this is query 2, right? Okay. Now it comes to the exercise. Create the following query and think about the purpose of the query. Ask you to run the query and explain the purpose. Okay. I think that's all for today. Yeah. So let's save it, and that's for today's speed run for workshop 3.